So I'm out in the garden and we've got this wonderful wild forest here. And in the garden we have these bird feeders which attract the sunbirds, pigeons, hoopoes, many different types of birds. And I guess you can hear them all day long. It's very hard to see them because they're very tiny, but no doubt you can hear them. It's a gorgeous day today, absolutely beautiful, beginning of summer, lovely sunny day, blue sky, and I'm out in the garden and enjoying this lovely day. And I'm going to take you inside and we're going to get on with the Shawl Knitter Unplugged. Hi, I'm back. And I thought before I actually sit down and get settled in, I've just taken this look at my holes, top off the blocking. In fact, it was just outside in the sun drying, and I'm wearing it. And it's absolutely divine. I really love it. Fits like an absolute dream. Very, very, very versatile, lovely top that one can wear over any coloured undergarment, bralette, bikini top, t-shirt, whatever. It's beautiful. So this is knitted out of wool and, sorry, I'm lying, a cotton and bamboo blend. I think I may have shown this to you last week because I just started it. It's made from fiber natura papyrus. There it is. It's a lovely, lovely color. I don't know what this color is called, but it's not pink. It's brown, pinkish brown. So the dark thread in it is the bamboo and the lighter thread is the cotton. So I've washed it and it's come out really lovely. It's got lovely, lovely drape. It sits nicely. It's got this lovely raglan detail, and the sleeves for me are just the perfect length and they're not tight. I'm very, very happy with it. Very happy with it indeed. I am definitely going to be making myself more of these look at my holes, and I have an order already to make one, a long sleeved one. The pattern is actually really cropped. It's very much a crop top, and I don't wear things that length, so I've just added on a few more repeats, and it's very easy. It's not a difficult pattern at all. It's been an absolute joy to knit. So here we are. We are back. Today what I want to show you is one work in progress that I'm busy with. I've been doing a lot of yarn dyeing, so I'm actually knitting a garment out of this wonderful Mohair and Merino base, which is really lovely. It's a new one that I have not used before, and I've been dyeing it and I absolutely love it. It's got a very high percentage of mohair in it, 44% mohair and 56% merino. It's a singles fingering and there's 400 meters to a skein. So I have 3 skeins of this that I dyed up, this Summer Sunshine, just gorgeous. I don't know if you can actually see the halo, the mohair halo on this. I think it's quite hard to actually see it, but isn't that lovely? I've been having such fun, really. I call this yarn painting and not yarn dyeing. I just have a wonderful time. So I am knitting the Wavetable top. I also showed you this picture last time. It's by an Indian designer, knidiknits, who I hope to meet when I am in India next year. And I am taking a lot of my dyed yarns over to India to sell. So I thought that I would make a garment out of it, so that we could all have a good idea of, I can show what it looks like when it's knit up. And it's really lovely. I'm really, really loving it. It's lovely and soft. It's got a lot of drape and it's very light because of all the mohair. Hence, the good meterage. So this is the twisted cable side panel that you're looking at right now. And then this other side is the stocking stitch. And I have been helical knitting it, which gives it a slightly stripy-ish kind of effect, but it's nothing definite. There are different shades and different tones going on, but it's not all, there's no pooling, it's not all sitting in one area, and I really am loving this effect. I have not actually helical knitted before. It's the most easiest thing on the planet to do when you are knitting in the round. So this is a bottom up sweater. It's not really a sweater, it's a top, I would call it. So I'm knitting circular, starting at the bottom, but then I will get to the armholes and I have to split for the back and front. So I'll have to change my ideas, and no more helical knitting when you just knit backwards and forwards. But I thought what I would do is still use the two separate balls and go for a 2 row of each color. So swap each ball after 2 rows, and I think that will still work out fine. It's got a dropped sleeve and a nice fitted sleeve as well. Drop shoulder and a fitted sleeve and quite an open neckline. So I think it's quite a sort of summer friendly top. I'll show you the schematic so that you can get a better idea of exactly what the top is. So it has this twisted rib, which is on the side. It goes around to the back, and then on the bottom of the sleeves it also has the twisted rib. So it's very nice. I'm really loving knitting it, and I'm really loving working with my hand dyed yarn. Now this yarn is so soft and drapey. I mean, it just flips and flops. When you've got a skein of yarn that is just a floppy one, it's got good drape. So this is Summer Sunshine, and I think it's gorgeous. It just says it all. So that's one. I've hauled out a few that I've been busy dyeing. I'll show you them as they come up. I have had a couple of inquiries on my Instagram where I have been sharing all my dyeing as to whether I'm selling the yarn now. And I am indeed selling the yarn. I'm not hanging on to it until I go to India next year. So all the yarn on my Instagram page, Tribal Bling, is currently for sale. You can just DM me there, and we can discuss colors. And so I don't do any kind of big production at all. I mostly do sort of 3 and 4 skeins of a color, not really repeatable, after a fashion, but it's not my idea to repeat colors. And I use such random techniques when I dye, so you will find lots of speckling, and every single skein is totally different. So this is a different, quite a unique hand dyed yarn. And this base is for me, very special. I'm totally in love with it. So that was Summer Sunshine. Then I've got a more blended technique that I use, which is using sort of a family of tones. This is yellow, orange, and brown. And I really, really like this. This is Into the Fire. It's got some good orange in it. Lovely orange and golden yellows, and a bit of sort of reddy oranges, and lots of different shades of brown, dark brown, light brown, golden. Really, this is really me. This is my favorite color, my favorite colorway, let's say. So this is Into the Fire. Very nice. I'm happy with that. Then another sort of muted, toned dye that I've done is this. I don't think I've quite named this one yet. This is golds and violet and lilac with a little bit of yellow, but mostly gold. Very soft, muted shades. There's some of the gold, that's about the brightest, and then there's the purples, and it's just lovely. I love these together. This gold and purple is a beautiful combination, and look at that. I think it's gorgeous. So that is a no name. Then I have again blended tonals. This is called Old Fashioned Roses, and this is pinks and lilacs with a little bit of purple, and then some sort of very faded pinks, faded lilac into deeper pinks and deeper purpley lilacs, and it's really pretty. Very, very pretty colorway. That is Old Fashioned Rose. I have done this blue colorway, which I know for a fact is not as bright as it looks. It looks absolutely stunning on the screen, but this is not the color. It's dark. It's dark blue and moody. It's called Deep Dive, and I'm not really sure how to make it look any darker at all. I mean, maybe if I can shadow it, I can't. So yeah, this is all the Mohair Merino blend. Very soft, very lovely. It's got some light tones, but it looks very sort of aqua turquoise, and it's not at all. So that is the blue. Then I decided to do an experiment. A while back I bought an indigo dye kit from an art shop, and it was actually meant for textiles, but I thought, let me see what I can do. I've had a little bit of experience with indigo dyeing in India. I've seen it done. I've played around a bit with it. It's quite tricky, but I thought, let me give it another try. So I did dye up some pure merino with it, and I wasn't really that happy. I did knit it up. It was very pale and muted, and it appeared to me that the mordant was not fixing it very well. It came off a lot on my hands when I knitted it, which apparently is quite common. So I set it aside and I kind of forgot about it. Then while I was in this mood for playing around, I decided, well, let me just try it. Maybe I can use a different mordant. So that is what I did. I used my own mordant, which I normally use with the acid dyes, and wow, it took absolutely perfectly. But part of the kit was this idea to do tie-dyeing using rubber bands. So I thought, well, let me use the rubber bands. Let me tie up the skeins and see what effect I can get. It was just a free creative experience, and I just had so much fun doing it. It was really great. So this is what it looks like. And again, it's not this deep oceanic blue. It's indigo blue, which is quite a pity because it's really lovely. And somebody did actually ask me on Instagram, is that really indigo? And I said, yes, it is, but I just cannot capture it. So you can see all these white spaces in the blue, which I think is what really makes it. I'm dying to knit up a sample. So I will open one of the skeins and show you. So this is how it looked when I took off all the elastic bands. So it's got these lovely stripes of the natural at sort of regular intervals, but not really. I have no idea how this is going to knit, but I think it can only be very interesting, and I'm so curious that I think what I will actually do is, rather than waste or use one of these. I've only made 4 skeins because that's all the indigo that I had. So rather than use one of these 4 skeins to try and knit a sample, I am actually going to do this tying up technique with a dye, you know, with the acid dye, just so I can see how the technique works. So I'll choose a color. I wonder what color I'll choose. Maybe I'll choose a green, and I'll do the same. I'll tie the skein up, and then we'll get the same effect. But I'm totally in love with it. Really totally in love with it. I have to find myself more of this indigo. It worked very well. It does not wash out, and it holds the color perfectly, which makes me very happy. So I'm totally in love with seeing this top on me right now. It feels light as air, and yet it does give you that just extra little bit of cover. I did in fact wear it yesterday before I blocked it. I went for a walk in the forest with a friend of mine, and it was quite cool, and it was perfect. It was really the perfect layer, so I'm thinking that this is going to stand me in really good stead in India. It's the kind of overgarment one occasionally needs. And we will be going up into the mountains in the beginning, and so therefore I'm sure it will be quite useful. And I'm also really hoping that once I get my hands on the Ahimsa silk yarn, I'm going to make myself one out of that. I'm going to dye it, and I'm going to make it out of silk. So if you can imagine this, I'm going to have one whole suitcase full of yarn. I was even considering trying to take my dye pot, but I don't think that's going to be possible. But I am going to take my dyes and a couple of shawls, a couple of samples, and yes, all the things I'm going to need. I'm going to be away for 4 months. I'm going to be in the south a lot of the time, in the south of India, in Tamil Nadu. I'm going to the community of Auroville, which is just outside Pondicherry. I have been there, but a long time ago. I think it was 2009 when I was there. I have a dear friend who's going to live there, so I'm going to go and have a look-see. It is a mostly Western community that started Auroville in the mid-70s and has transformed the land incredibly into this wonderful eco-holistic community. And it's very big, and it does support the surrounding Indian villages, and there's a lot of crafts, a lot of teaching of crafts and farming, organic farming. So I am hoping to get involved in the crafting side. I have actually been in touch with somebody who is very keen for me to share some knitting skills. So I'm very excited about that. So today, that is all I really am going to show you. I do have a very large shawl still on the needles. It's a slip stravaganza by Stephen West, but when it's on the needles, you can't see it. So I hope it's finished next week. Then I'll show it to you. I would like to ask you, if you're interested in what I'm doing, to follow me on Instagram. My name on Instagram is Tribal Bling, and I also have a Patreon called Mystic India, and that will cover all my journeys in India, all my festivals I will attend, the knitting workshops I'll be giving, all the India story will be on my Patreon. So you can follow me on Patreon for free. You will be able to see some of the photographs that I post. But if you want to be more in-depth and involved, there is a paid subscription ranging from $3 to $10 a month. And if you subscribe, you will get to see everything that I'm busy with there, and a whole lot of more offers that I have for you, which I won't tell you about here. You can go and have a look and see. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy that. So for today, that is all I have to share with you. Thank you so much for coming along, and have a fabulous weekend, and happy knitting, happy crafting. Thank you very much.